It's my absolute pleasure to welcome onto the stage a member of the Spanish Academy of Pharmacy. He was in Telstar for 25 years, and he is currently a consultant at GMP Services. The keynote theme is PICS Compliance, a challenge for Pakistan's pharma industry. Ladies and gentlemen, Rafael Beaus.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for the organizers to have the honor to be here. Laura, I'm still in Telstar, 25 years, and still there. So thank you anyhow for the introduction. Laura mentioned something interesting. She's learning a lot. I'm learning a lot too. So I'm really glad to be here. I've learned a lot. And I'm glad also the title I chose before knowing what was going to be today, the topic and the details. Dr. Obaidullah talked about the PIC initiative here in Pakistan. I was aware of that from many years, but now it seems a serious one going ahead. So that's the title, A Challenge or Opportunity. You were the ones to tell us where we are. Also very, very interesting, the presentation from Mr. Mustafa Kamal, the minister, who was saying, you must be ambitious. Always I heard here people complaining about prices, local prices. Think that out here, prices are double, triple, or 10 times more than what you have here. You must go outside. Don't stay here. And because he said that prices were going to be contained, let's say it in a way. So outside of Pakistan, there is a whole wall of important countries where you can sell. And another very important point that was mentioned by Dr. Sakia Al-Kurdi, dream is possible. Jordan did it, why not Pakistan? I feel you have a good chance to go there, outside, and do things there. And last presentation before I arrive here, Philippe talking about the future. Of course, future is health assurance and high added value products, not generics. Generics are needed. Of course, you mentioned that not all of them work as they should. So we are here to talk about that, about future, and if we have a challenge or opportunity, and this is something for you to tell me. Just a brief presentation before that. The figures vary very much depending on the source, but it doesn't matter. It's the same source. So when we talk about markets, well, I don't know what this means. US, the first market for pharmaceuticals, far below the others. And here was figures. I don't know why. This is what appears. Well, the first market. Sorry, impossible to... Well, never mind. Because I don't remember by heart the figures, but US, far away from the rest. And if we look at the neighborhood, which is interesting, we have China, of course, with a big population and a big market. We have India, even a little bit larger population than China, a little bit below in the market. But we have Bangladesh. The population of Bangladesh is lower than the one in Pakistan, and the market there, pharmaceutical market, is higher. And here is around, if I'm not wrong, 4 billion, and here we are around 3 or something like that. That's to say there is a lot room for improvement here in Pakistan, not thinking only internally, also outside. Let me talk a bit about PICS. We had a presentation about that, and let's hope it can be read. Well, there is the rest of the drawing. You cannot see it very well. When we talk about PICS, we are talking about European Medicine Agency. It's there in PICS. We are talking as well about UK. We used to be together, now out of European Union. We talk about Swissmedic, FDA, of course, main important countries. But we are talking about many other countries. Canada is part of that. In fact, everything that you see in blue is part of PICS. Japan, we have also Australia over there. We have also Korea. In South America, we have Anvisa from Brazil. And we have Argentina recently joined, South Africa, or Iran. That's to say we have a variety of countries with a common goal, quality. These are the inspectors being together and saying we want to go to the same level of quality. When I'm asked sometimes, okay, what's the difference between FDA GMPs, European GMPs? Difference is so tiny. Really, if you read what is written there, it's a very small difference. And we see it here. We are tending to converge. Regulations will become a single regulation sooner or later. We cannot have different quality of products worldwide, depending on where it's produced. So this is the future for sure. So PICS initiative here in Pakistan is a good initiative because it will lead the country to a good level of quality and being recognized worldwide. It was mentioned, an inspection made by another PICS country inspector does not need to be re-inspected again by anyone. It's already there. So this is a huge advantage as well. So let's think about that as the future. Just a few examples of regulations. PICS have their own regulations, okay? We have European FDA as examples. And what does it mean? Well, if you look at the PICS regulation, has a body with part of the medicines and some annexes. But if we look at them in detail, one example, Annex 1 for aseptic production, exactly the same, word by word, of what we have in EU GMPs. Same date, everything is the same. So when we talk about, you comply with European regulations, what about PICS? Don't worry, you are complying with PICS already, so you are there. Another recent document, you cannot read very well, I will tell you, was provided by the Pakistani authorities in February, talking about segregation. Antibiotics shall be produced in a different facility. This is in place in many other places for years. For example, FDA giving you, from April 2013, guidance on how to do it. In Europe as well. What I mean is, what you are doing here is something that is done worldwide. So you are in the good track and it should be like that. And Pakistani industry needs this push to move ahead and go for that. So, very important question. How we go for that? How do we begin? This is something that can be asked. Well, let's evaluate where we are, like in the doctor. If you don't go to the doctor to have an assessment, an evaluation, who knows the treatment? Well, in future with AI, maybe yes. But today, still we need to go to the doctor to see the symptoms, what we have, and this is what we call here gap assessment. Once we know where we are and how to develop that is, of course, our quality assurance system. This is something that in pharmaceutical industry must be kept up to the level. Our facility should be evaluated in 3 ways. We have the part of equipment. Some pieces of equipment are so old, they cannot comply with today's standards. We should change them. In some other cases, they are okay, but there is a documentation that should go with that equipment. So, assessment of equipment, utilities, do we have the right quality in utilities? And of course, the facility, the premises, the layouts, the segregation that we mentioned before. Everything has to be according to the regulation. We cannot skip that part. Once we have that, we will get to the point where we have an action plan. With this action plan, a CAPA, corrective action plan, we can work out the solution. Without that, it's impossible. If you ask me, okay, how do I begin? Evaluate, important to see if the facility, if the layouts are okay, because if not, the change needs to be more important than if you just simple equipment that shall be changed. Okay, once you have that, you need support, follow-up, of course, training. People are very important. People are key. You may have the best facility in the world. If you don't have the right people properly trained, it will not work. At least today. Maybe in future, we'll have robots, everything will be automatic. But today, we have people, we need people. And without the proper people, this will not work. And of course, once you have everything, you will have a GMP fully compliant facility. And then you have to keep it working, okay? It's not only a matter of doing this big movement changing things, investing is also a matter of doing things the proper way continuously. I don't know if you are aware, but today inspections in many countries, in Spain for instance, you are not noticed before, I'm going to be auditing you, inspecting you in 2 weeks' time. They come to your door, they knock, and inspection is here. So you have to be prepared every day for an inspection. You are not working for the inspection, you are working for yourself. So these are the things to be done properly. Okay, just a quick example. Let's forget about that because they told me to be brief. So let me jump to a summary, very important. Pakistan industry has room for growing. I'm sure, comparing with the neighborhood, comparing to where we are, to the population, and to the capacity that I can see in this industry, from the times I've been coming here, from the investment I'm seeing, it's just a matter of doing this step ahead. And of course, growing the Pakistani industry means growing the country, as was mentioned also by the minister. We shall go for the peaks, for sure, for sure. Even it may take some time, you must already go for that. Without that, you will not have the international recognition that you will need. Of course, depending on the starting point, you will require one thing or another, but it's important to do this assessment, to know where you are, and then allocate the needed time and resources to do that. Assessment, as I said, and think positive. Don't complain about prices, about the problems. There is a whole country out of here, a whole world, sorry, out of the country that can be used for that. So I go back to my first question. When we talk about peaks, are we talking about challenge or opportunity? I see it as an opportunity, and I feel you should see it as well as a good opportunity. Thank you very much.